Hey guys, I'm back here again this evening, or whatever time it is where you're watching this from, to do yet another video discussing all the latest trailers that have been dropping, because we've been getting quite a few this past week or two and that, so I thought they'd be worth talking about, because we've got I wouldn't say they're all good trailers or great trailers, but they're worth talking about. And once again, I'm not alone to do this. Thankfully, I've got a good friend of mine here to discuss the trailers with me, and that is Scott. Glad to have you here, Scott.
Hey, no worries.
Alright,
Uh,
so yeah, today, as you see from the title of the video, we're going to be discussing the trailers for the very recently hit first trailer for Independence Day Resurgence. Then we'll be moving on to discuss the Legend of Tarzan trailer, and then we'll be finishing up just talking about Disney's BFG official trailer. So we'll start off
hmm.
with the Independence Day Resurgence trailer. Now I'm going to be completely honest here. I'm doing this from a very general perspective of watching this trailer, because I have not seen the original film, and that sounds like blasphemy. A lot of people will probably get mad about that. But so I'm going to let Scott actually start talking about this. For someone who has seen the original Independence Day, directed by Roland Emmerich, what did you think of this new the trailer for the new movie? There's no Will Smith, but were you impressed by it?
How do I put this? Um, all right. So going from the very first one, it's you're not really missing that much. It's an okay movie. It was definitely a very big hit in its era, but at the same time, it was kind of those movies you can sit down and have a lot of popcorn and had a whole bunch of action. It definitely hit the action. It had a lot of good CGI.
Yeah.
But at the same time, with the new movie itself, it looks okay, I suppose, but it feels like it's not going to be a major hit. It would surprise me if it was, but at the same time, it seems like one of those popcorn movies, like its predecessor.
Yeah, like I haven't seen the original, I'll say, but I reckon it's exciting to have for fans of it, and even for someone like me, because we're getting he hasn't done as much lately, so it's exciting just to see him do more, and that is seeing more of Jeff Goldblum and Bill Pullman in there, which is very nice. And I can't say I'm excited to see more, Liam Hemsworth in there. He's an okay actor. He's fine. I don't dislike him. I just don't think he can serve kind of in that new lead male type action role, if that makes sense. And that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so we'll see where that goes and everything. I know the actor in the film, Jesse Usher. He's going to actually play the character of Will Smith, Will Smith's character's son in the film, which will be interesting about how that goes. And it was actually recently explained today on the Independence Day website the actual fate of Will Smith's character from the first film, where he actually died during an alien tech malfunction between the first film and the second film and that. So there's your fate kind of confirmed on Will Smith's character. They just killed him off between the films. I'm like, so yeah, but
It's
yeah, Scott, are you excited seeing like these actors like you don't see much of, like Jeff Goldblum and Bill Pullman are back, and were you disappointed by no Will Smith, or what do you think about Liam Hemsworth kind of filling that gap?
for Will Smith. I know why he's not doing this. He's doing currently Suicide Squad. He's also trying to get into the other DC movies as well. If you
Yeah,
haven't seen, Uh, at the same time, I'm okay with Will Smith, but at the same time, I've heard a lot about his character and how he's kind of unstable when he's actually with we're trying to produce the movie. He's kind of like a nightmare apparently.
oh what, yeah,
Um, Especially if he likes to put his son or him and tries
yeah,
to bring something of his own. It just feels a little bit forced. It's
yeah.
okay. It kind of well, when you actually hear it, you start to become aware of it. But going back to the actual point, the actors themselves, I love Goldblum coming back. He's a really good actor. He just had some part, I guess dialogue's a little bit off, and he has sometimes he does bring his own. But he's all right.
I think,
I don't know about the other two though. What have
yeah.
they been in?
I think one of the big stories regarding Will Smith with his career and everything was he was originally, and this is maybe going slightly off topic a little bit, is he was originally lined up, and some people may not know this, but I think a number of film fans may by now, is he was originally lined up to play Django in Django Unchained before Jamie Foxx actually got the role. And the reason he declined going forward with it is because he didn't believe he got as much screen time as he would want as the hero. So there's a bit of a he's very fussy with his roles nowadays. I find Will Smith, and that also makes me curious about Suicide Squad. But that's a whole other topic, and it's probably
Mm.
and I don't think it's the reason he's not in this. I just think it's probably money reasons of how big he's got now. But who knows? Because this is a pretty big blockbuster. But I don't know. Like, is there any other thoughts you want to add on to that?
Uh, Not really. As I said, I can't remember the other guys. I can't remember what they've been in recently. Do you know?
What is that? Jeff Goldblum or Liam
Oh, I
Hemsworth?
know Goblin, but I can't remember the other two.
Liam Hemsworth or
Oh, Liam and the other guy. I can't
Liam
remember his
Liam
name.
Hemsworth has just finished up. He's just finished up the Hunger Games franchise. He's just finished up all on that and everything. And Bill
Hmm.
Pullman hasn't done a lot, I don't think. Maybe I've just missed him. Have I missed him in a few? I might have missed him in a few things, but he hasn't done
Yeah,
it. He hasn't stood
I
out in
remember
anything.
Liam.
The last
Remember?
Jeff Goldblum did do the Grand Budapest Hotel. I think it was last year or the year before, which is a very, very good movie.
Mm.
But other than that, Jeff Goldblum hasn't been in the limelight that much as well. So it's very, as a fan, it's just exciting to see them get more work, especially in a big film like this. Whether it be bad or good, it'll probably be like dumb fun, if that makes sense. Stupid fun, I guess.
Mm.
And that's so. Yeah. Is there any added thoughts you want to do onto that, or do you want to move on to the next one?
No, we'll probably move to the next one.
And that okay. Moving straight on from the trailer for Independence Day Resurgence. We'll go on to. We'll finish up the whole section of the Independence Day trailer by saying that I did quite like the speech in the trailer by Bill Pullman, kind of reminiscent of that one from the first film, which I've heard before, and I found that very neat. But yeah, moving on from that though, going on to the next trailer, we will talk about our thoughts on the Legend of Tarzan trailer, which is directed by David Yates, who did the last 4 Harry Potter films. He's currently directing Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. He's got this coming out as well. So he's a busy guy at the moment, David Yates. And this is going to star Alexander Skarsgård as Tarzan. Margot Robbie, who's going to play Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, is going to play Jane in this. Christoph Waltz, who recently played the villain in Spectre, the latest Bond, is going to play, it seems as
Mm.
though, the villain in this. And you also have Samuel Jackson in here as well. So yeah, what's your thoughts on the Legend of Tarzan trailer, Scott?
Uh, well, I've watched the Disney interpretation of the movie quite a bit. It's really, really good. It has great visuals, but we're not talking about this. We were talking about the trailer, the legend. I don't know. I don't remember the locals, the tribal people. They could be from the original book, but I haven't seen them, and I actually haven't heard anything of them in the uh, Disney version at any times. Maybe they're maybe just cut off. I don't know, but it seems more close to the book. I haven't read the book, so I don't 100% know. But the I don't know. When I see the snippets, I probably not. It just doesn't interest me enough to really like get me into the seats. But I could see it being a good movie, I suppose. Just not something that I would think would cater to me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I thought the visuals in it were very, very good. They stood out to me with the apes and everything. I thought Skarsgård looked very. He fit the role of Tarzan. It seems it's going to be very interesting this take on Tarzan they're doing because some people may not notice, and I should really clarify. This film is actually going to follow Tarzan and Jane, who have actually built a life for themselves in London, but then something happens that brings him back to the jungle. So it's going to be interesting. So it's not really an origin of Tarzan of the sorts. It's more him, like if
Oh,
that makes
okay.
sense. So there's an interesting kind of aspect there and everything. I think the visuals look good. All the actors, I really like the cast of this film. We have Christoph Waltz, Margot Robbie, Samuel Jackson even thrown in there. I know some people get a bit tired of him, but there's no denying he's a good actor. He's a very good actor, and it's very nice
Hmm.
having him on screen and everything. But I can understand if you get tired of him. I thought it was kind of. I love the Tarzan scream you briefly heard in there, like the yell of Tarzan, I guess you could say. The
Hmm.
core, and I thought it was pretty true to the source material. It felt very Tarzan-esque with the drumming music and everything. I very much like that. But yeah,
Hmm.
I enjoyed the trailer. I'm not sure if I'll see it in the cinemas. We'll have to see what they have next in their marketing campaign. But I very much liked the
Hmm.
trailer. It impressed me. But yeah, do you have any added thoughts on that?
Uh, hmm. Well, Disney has always shown a very interesting. Well, they're trying to bring out more detailed versions of their previous releases recently, and this is pretty much no different. I watched what was it called, Cinderella or something like that? No, not Cinderella. I know they had made a version of Cinderella. I can't
Yeah,
remember. Um, it could be Sleeping Beauty, maybe. That could be it. Uh,
Snow White.
yeah, this film, it feels like it's one of those films. I'm more interested in the Jungle Book more than this film, to be honest. But if I
Yeah,
do
that's fair
see it, I'll
enough.
probably just see it on the TV screen or something. Or when I can, like, I might just see it eventually at some point, and I might actually like appreciate it more because I'm not like forking out $30 just to sit down and watch a film, and it could be like very boring. Which I'll be honest, when I watched these films before, it kind of just I don't know. I like the original more, and I'd rather just watch that now because I can just watch it like that.
Yeah,
Sorry, and I don't know. Sorry, I'm just going from straight off the top of my head.
yeah.
Anything else?
As well as that, I'm excited to see David Yates directing. I do like David Yates as a director. I enjoyed the last four Harry
Hmm.
Potter films he did. I'm excited for his work on Fantastic Beasts. And there is a trailer actually for Fantastic Beasts dropping on Wednesday, and I might have my thoughts up on that. I'm not sure if Scott wants to join me for that or not. I've just brought that up right now, and that
Oh
drops
yeah.
on. That drops on Wednesday. I know a lot of Harry Potter fans are anticipating that. But he's doing quite well for himself at the moment, David Yates, and I'm excited to see what he does with this. He's good at adapting these kind of what would you call them? These young adult children esque kind of stories, like these fantasy esque kind of stories, I guess you could say. And that, because
Hmm.
Tarzan is kind of fantasy, if that makes sense. And that, with the talking gorillas and all this kind of stuff, like it's somewhat fantasy, if you want to call it that, and everything. I'm not sure how what people want to interpret Tarzan as, but I would say it's fantasy. And David Yates has done a fine job with fantasy in the past, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure if I'll see it in the cinema or not, but the trailer did impress me. But is there any added thoughts you had?
No, that's pretty much it.
Did you want to we'll move on to the next one, the last trailer.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna move on now to the last trailer of this segment. No, yeah, nowhere near as long as our last trailer talk, which is just four big trailers. And these trailers are big to some people. I respect that. A lot of people have really been jumping up and down about a couple of these trailers, maybe, and everything. That's fine.
Hmm.
It's just that we don't really have as much to say, but we got some things to say at least. We have
Yeah,
some
like
things to
when it
say,
comes to like
and
these movies, let's be honest. When we talk about Marvel, we're talking about Marvel. When we come into these movies, there's just
yeah,
is this single movies, not an entire universe.
yeah, it's more so we're talking about the actors and the visuals and the directing and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Rather when with the Marvel stuff, we can talk about everything. But that's that. But anyway, we're on to talking about the final trailer here, and that is for Disney's The BFG. The trailer only dropped recently. It's directed by Steven Spielberg, his next film, and as we know, to most people, Spielberg can just about do no wrong for the most part. He is Steven Spielberg, and that and this. And yeah, and I loved the BFG book as a kid, but I'll let Scott kick it off once again of his thoughts on the BFG.
Oh, why'd you have to do this? Let's see. I have not read the BFG. I know about it, but I have not read it, and immediately people are gonna get super pissed. Um, I don't know. Maybe just because I never had a chance to read it, or I never actually seen it. I think that could be one reason why I never actually seen the book or heard about the story. What's the story like anyway?
Well, I have not read it for years myself, but I do know as the BFG does stand for the Big Friendly Giant, and that it adventures this young
Mhm.
girl and the giant, and you have the bad giants, and that's kind of vaguely what I remember. I read it back in my primary years, back over a
Mm.
decade ago now, and everything. And that's so it's been quite a while. But from a general standpoint, like from where I stood about the Independence Day trailer, what did you think about this from a general standpoint, not really familiar with the source material?
Okay, much like the Tarzan trailer, uh, it looks nice. It looks really appealing. Its CGI is really nicely done. Uh, I really, I don't know if I would watch it as well. It's kind of like the Tarzan. It's like I, or even less so. I guess I could say because I don't really have any attachment to the BFG. That's the biggest problem. This could be actually pretty decent because I think there has been some versions of the BFG. I think in animation or
Yeah, I
in a live
believe there's
action.
been an I believe I saw an animated film of some kind. I think I could be wrong. It might be just me remembering images from the book or something. But I thought I saw an animated thing of some kind, and that. But yeah.
Hmm.
As for the trailer, though, I enjoyed the trailer. It wasn't much. It was just a teaser. But it gave us a nice kind of vibe of the world and that. I love the music at the end and the kid's line saying how, and this is where our story begins. It felt such like a fun adventure. It felt like so much fun adventure in there, and I think we need more of that fun in the adventure these days and everything, which works really well. And that because I thought the giant looked really nice. I think they needed. I think they're of course they're finishing up on the visuals and all the CG on it. I think there'll be more. It will look even better. They'll add more
Hmm.
CG to it and everything. And that, but as a teaser, I thought it was very nice, very kind of charming, I guess you could say, and I did enjoy it. But is there anything else you want to add, like the fact Spielberg's directing it, and that like the fact this is his next movie?
Yeah, it's always good to see Spielberg having his movies released, especially this one. Uh, would he bring something that's super good to the table? Maybe he does have those moments, though. He also has his most uh, downwards moments that a lot of people do remember. But I don't know. I like to think more of the project than the actual person. But then again, I do want to know the person because, well, I want to look at his work, and when I look at his work, I feel that I can be more interested. But with Spielberg, he's had a very good and also bad reputation, and this could be really good. Though it's also something that I don't have a connection, as I already said. How could I don't know if I can say much else. What do you think?
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was a very nice trailer, very charming trailer, I guess you could say. A nice little teaser of the kid hiding under the blankets of the giant hand coming in that looked very cool and very well, it's not cool, but very it's something when you were a kid you'd always get scared of and everything. You always hide under the blankets and everything. I
I
think it'd
think
be
anyone would be super scared of a giant hand reaching out. Like,
yeah, like you know what I mean. Like back when you were a young kid, you always used to have these kind of fun fantasy stories and everything, and you
mhm.
used to get yourself scared because of them and everything, and it kind of gives you that nostalgic feel of sorts when you're child, kind of if that makes some sort of sense, and that I guess. And
Yeah.
that with your own childhood, how you got yourself scared of fantasy stories, and then you can turn, and then your fantasy stories turn into like this adventure of sorts. I don't know. You may not be understanding what I'm trying to say, but yeah.
Oh, I can understand it perfectly. It's just uh oh, keep going, keep going.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna correct and say there actually was an animated BFG film back in 1989, and that might have been the one I saw.
Hmm.
And I will say that this film is going to star Mark Rylance is going to play the BFG, who I'm not very familiar with, and it'll also star actress Rebecca Hall, who is from films such as This Year's The Gift and also Iron Man 3, and also Bill Hader is
Yeah.
going to play a giant in it. So I thought that was worth mentioning. I do like Rebecca Hall. I think she's a very good actress. And that, but yeah.
Hmm.
Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'm doing about it.
Okay. To sum it all up, we'll pretty much go back and rate each trailer of how pretty much what we gathered from them and everything, and how what were our overall kind of thoughts and kind of like our review rating for the trailer, you could say, and that. So we'll go back to this first one, and I'll let Scott kind of go through them and that. What would you rate starting from Independence Day, then to Tarzan, and then to BFG? What would you rate each trailer, kind of, I guess, out of 10?
Hmm. I wouldn't rate Independence Day. Probably a 5.
Okay.
Just because I feel that it's a popcorn movie, and like its predecessor, it did hit somewhat, but at the same time, I don't think this is going to be as good as its predecessor, just because it was the '90s, man. A lot of people remember the '90s
Yeah.
movies,
Yeah.
but with this, there's so many more movies that have been already released, and probably they come out later in the future, kind of like this, even just slightly better, or even slightly worse. I'll give it honest opinion. It's just a 5 maybe, I suppose. Nothing super big that's happening. It looks like it's jumping, like it's not improving a lot. Its characters seem kind of generic. It could be completely different when the movie releases. But yeah, it's just a 5.
Yeah. Tarzan. What?
Tarzan,
Yeah.
as I already stated, that I would probably not see this. I will give it the benefit. It's probably a 6. It probably would be a really interesting movie, especially that it's a sequel
Mhm.
to the original story, I suppose.
I guess so. It's like a somewhat continuity of sorts. I guess it's a weird.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Somewhat. Yeah. It's kind of weird, and that you get films like this where it's placed kind of weirdly and everything, and that. But so yeah, you're impressed more with the Tarzan trailer and Resurgence.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I feel like Tarzan's gonna probably hit more because it is a Disney movie. It's a retell. Well, not even retelling. It's a sequel to a movie that it should actually have more fans. It's actually a pretty decent movie. It
Yeah. The
um
original Tarzan animated film is fantastic.
yeah. It's oh you should just see how much. I won't talk about it, but let me just say the CGI was something that's really impressive. How fast it is.
Yeah.
Um, Hopefully they do it here, especially more better because I will give it this. Disney has never like shied away from looking like really good CGI. Is this Disney? I'm not sure.
What is it?
Uh, yeah, it's Disney because it's Tarzan.
Yeah.
Um,
Disney. Yeah.
just making sure because it could be someone that actually bought the Tarzan license
No, yeah, you
recently.
get that sometimes, but yeah, it's Disney's. Yeah,
Okay, that's pretty much what I'm going to say. It's probably just 6.
yeah. Okay, to finish up then, the BFG for someone who's not really familiar with the source material and just basing it off the trailer.
Straight off, I'm thinking probably a 6, maybe a 7,
Oh,
or
so you,
maybe an 8. Maybe an 8.
you'd
It's kind
rate
of
it.
in between them.
Well, you'd rate it the
It
highest,
could
and
be,
that.
it could be really, really good because, like it's even if I haven't read the book, it looks like it's going to try really, really hard to impress people, and hopefully it does. If it really impresses people, it could make it on like as a surprise, really good movie for this year. When even the big hits like Civil War and Suicide Squad just coming around the corner for next year.
Yeah, it would be really nice to see it be a pretty big hit. I think it will be a hit with Spielberg's name attached, but I think you
Mm,
need it to be. You need if you have the quality the quality people want it to be, as well as Spielberg being attached, you could have a very, very surprising big hit on your hands. And a
Hmm.
lot of a number of people, I know you aren't, but I know a number of people were very have a kind of childhood connection of reading the BFG and everything, and so it's going to be
That's
those
why I'm
people as
thinking
well.
that it's probably be about a 6, 7, or 8, because as much as my opinion on something, I know that people would actually enjoy it quite a lot, more than me, just because of the connection. It could be a completely good 8 for them, maybe even a 9. But for me, as someone who actually hasn't read it, I'm kind of mixed. It could be a really good movie, or it could be, decent.
Well,
Decent, I suppose.
what did you think of the teaser trailer then? Like, what would you rate that teaser?
Uh, not sure. Thinking about it, it's just really good CGI, a really good setup. It doesn't show anything besides the character, a little bit of CGI, what the giant would actually look like. I don't know if it actually had shown any of the like the body at any point. I don't think so. So yeah, just I would say about a 6, maybe a 7.
Alright, that's cool. Going back through 'em, I would give the Resurgence trailer a 6 out of 10. I'd give Legend of Tarzan a 7.5, 7.5. I would give the BFG trailer 7. Yeah, 7. And I'd get Tarzan just by a bit over the BFG, but they were both very good. And that.
Hmm.
But they were, I enjoyed all these trailers, even the Resurgence trailer. It kind of was just dumb fun, I guess you could say. But
Yeah.
and everything. It's probably going to end up just being stupid fun by Roland Emmerich again and everything. But honestly, I thought the trailer was fun. I like the speech in it, but that's going back on that. But I thought were another group of good trailers. We got another batch of good trailers and everything. We've been getting some solid trailers lately, so I'm happy about that. So
We should probably do a video
yeah,
on like what movies have got us interested for next year actually. Besides like going from Marvel and DC, which actually talk
yeah.
about more on
Like
the other stuff as well.
yeah. So you could possibly expect us to probably talk about our most anticipated films of 2016 as we near the end of this year, maybe. And
Hmm.
so yeah,
Since we're getting all these trailers.
yeah, because we're getting some pretty damn good trailers coming out. There's some pretty solid, fun trailers. So we'll have to see what happens and everything, and we'll pretty much we'll go through that. You may get it tomorrow or the day after, but we'll actually go through kind of the lists of what's coming out to jog our memory and have a good idea and everything, and that. So yeah, expect that hopefully within the next day or two. Hopefully, I'm not sure how, but yeah, I'll organise it with Scott and everything. But yeah, just to wrap things up here, another batch of good trailers. I'm sure Scott enjoyed the trailers too for the most part, and that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and so yeah, I enjoyed talking about it here, and I expect to see more another video soon from me. I hopefully have an Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith review coming tomorrow, and as well as that, hopefully some anticipated film video with Scott within the next day or two, which I'm very much looking forward to. And so yeah, to wrap things up, thank you Scott for joining me to talk about trailers again. It's very nice to have another voice here to kind of give their opinion.
As always, anytime.
Like, okay, yeah, well, thanks for being here, Scott. But yeah,
Hmm.
that's it, guys. I'm just gonna wrap things up here. Not as long as the last trailer video, but I don't think that would bother you. That I don't know. I don't know if that would bother you as much. Just a shorter kind of. It's still about 30 minutes
Hopefully it
this
won't.
video, so 30 minutes of your time kind of taken out, just to listen to us talk about 3 solid, fun trailers. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks again, Scott, for joining me. And until then,
Hmm.
I'll see you guys when I see you in the next video. See you guys. Thanks for listening.